Khalid, Migdad, Jafar, Aziz, Hakim, the names are all Arabic. Their worship is in Arabic. Isn't that a challenge for new Muslims? How will I ever learn the language of the Quran?
When it comes to the worldly matters, everyone does whatever it takes to get ahead in the world. Everyone. I'll give you an example. If you had to go to America today, and the United States government passed a law, in order to live in the United States, everyone needs to learn Chinese. Everyone will learn Chinese just to live in America. So when it comes to worldly, religious matters, all of a sudden everything becomes too difficult to do. You see, so when it comes to following religious teachings, those people who are not sincere about it, they always make excuses. Arabic language is a natural language, yes, it's very natural. All of the brothers here, we had no concept of the language, but in less than no time it takes us, we all learn the language very easily. So there's no difficulty for it. It's just that human beings are not sincere.
The brothers introduced me to a few Arabic words and phrases.
So this word inshallah means God's willing. It's all. It's like a prayer. God says that no one knows what will happen even the next moment in our life. So we always use that word inshallah because it's a way of seeking God's mercy in everything that we do. But one of the strangest things is that it says one of the signs before the day of judgment is that nobody will say inshallah. And this is what we see nowadays, even everyone, even on the TV. Everyone says, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow. Nobody says, God's willing. Yeah, when a Muslim meets a fellow Muslim, we greet him, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we're saying that to you, brother. Literally, it means, may the peace and may the blessing of God be with you. Alhamdulillah, it also means all praise be to God. Yes. Everything that we do, all praise be to God. Everything. Even if a person goes and becomes a doctor, all the praise belongs to God still. Yes, because even the ability and the knowledge was given by God. Yes. So we are constantly reminded everything we do, everything that we have in this world is a trust from God. Even if we eat some food, when we finish eating our food, we say, all praise be to God. Because even the food is a blessing from God.
What about food and diet? Will I have to give up my occasional glass of wine if I were to consider this religion?
Certain food that God has created for us. And He says that He's created the food as a means of sustenance. Whatever food that God has made prohibited for human beings, because they are not created as a means of sustenance. If you eat such food, it will cause problems in our lives, spiritually and morally as well. So now, God has created, like for example, sheep, cow, goat. If you look at these animals, they are all herbivorous animals. They eat grass. Yeah? You don't see a cow tyrannizing another animal. You don't see a sheep kill another animal. So even the animals, the attributes and the behavior of these animals are one of humility. So if you eat these animals, naturally become more humble and more submissive to God. Food that are forbidden, like pork and all these things, they were not food that God created as sustenance. These were human beings that God has metamorphosized and changed into those forms, like the pig, for example. There's two animals in the world that eat their own feces, the dog and the pig. Pig and dog, they have sexual relationship with their offspring. There's a saying, you are what you eat. People who drink alcohol and eat pork, they will never come towards Islam because of the impurity in the stomach. And this is the basis for religion. That's why God has given us dietary laws to live by. People who drink alcohol and eat pork, naturally there's a disposition towards profanity in the speech, in the behavior, in the disrespect of women. And that's why God didn't create these as food for human beings. That's why He said you should abstain from such, because they are filth and they are the scavengers of the earth.
Although I am a vegetarian, I'm curious about halal meat, which I've heard so much about.
There's a prescribed manner that we follow in order to make an animal become halal, lawful. Here's an example in the Bible. God asks His prophet Abraham to sacrifice his son Ishmael, as a test to show his devotion to God. In the absence of Ishmael, God replaced Ishmael with a lamb, a ram, an animal. Yes. So this is the example in the manner in which we should slaughter animals. Islam is following the tradition of the prophet Abraham. So what is the manner? When you're taking a life, you take a life in the name of God. Even animals' life are very sacred. So when you're taking the animal life, first you have to take the name of God. And there's a prescribed manner in which you should cut the animal. Islam says the knife itself should be very sharp, so you should inflict least pain upon the animal. Also, you should cut the jugular vein. Why? Because when you cut the jugular vein, all of the blood comes out of the animal, because diseases are transmitted through the blood. If you shoot an animal in the head, what it does, you shock the nerve, so all the blood stays in there. So eating those meat are very unhealthy and it causes problems.
It's Saturday, 19th January, the 10th and final day of Ashura. It's an emotional journey as the brothers remember the events of Karbala and the sacrifice made by Imam Hussein.
Imam Hussein started attacking Yazid's army. They were fleeing and they were fleeing for their life. Oh Hussein, spare me. Yes. Allahu Akbar. This was the Prophet of Islam. Allahu Akbar. Now, Bibi Zainab is watching on the mountaintop. And Imam Hussein Salam, he's wounded because he received the spear inside of his breast. Yes. And when the enemy removed the spear, Imam Hussein Salam's organ came out.
Brother Aziz reads poems in remembrance of the event.
The enemies could not face you, so they sneaked up from the rear, severing your right arm out of the cowardly faith. Then they severed your left arm and also your head. Thus you went on fighting for Hussein till you were dead. 70,000 troops gathered at the Euphrates River against 72 people and your beloved father, who stood with great courage, an intrepid father, Wali Asgar, youngest martyr of Kurb and Bala.
Again, the brothers repeat the chants of Ya Hussein with the beating of their chests. I also see bottles of water which the brothers drink as part of their religious ritual.
This is known as the Zamzam from the well which was dug by Ishmael, the Prophet Ishmael at his feet. And this water came from inside the well. That well is still present today. If you go to Iraq, you can still visit Imam Ali's house in Kufa. He lost his life in pursuit of water, in trying to bring water for Imam Hussein's daughter. So he was buried near the river Euphrates in Iraq. So this water also came from a well close to Hazrat Abbas' grave.
There are also samples of earth and other relics.
This earth is taken from the grave of Imam Hussein in Karbala. This is from Imam Hussein's grave in Karbala. This piece of cloth was taken and was touched on Imam Hussein's grave. So he brought it back for me as a gift, and I brought it to here to show the brothers. This is the fruit from that tree that was planted by Imam Jafar Sadiq 1400 years ago.
But does Islam appeal to young people as well? Dawood has been a Muslim for about a year. He shares his road to conversion.
Based on how I saw life was really going on, the direction I was heading, you know, a couple of brothers meeting me and introduced me to Islam, so I thought it was the right thing. I know the life ain't easy out there, so it's not, people on Cemetery Hill don't get involved in gangs, but you know, the life that I was seeing ahead of me wasn't appropriate. It wasn't good. The brothers encouraging me to do good things and to uplift myself and to, you know, make positive decisions about my life. To go back to it right now, it would be very difficult.